What's going on, guys? So I know you're probably thinking, well, didn't you take a break? I mean, I'm taking a break from making walkthroughs, but I'm still gonna make random videos like this left and right from time to time. And I'm making this video because there's people that their subscription count is 200, 400, 500, even lower than that. There's some that are barely 1,000, 1,500, and people are telling you, well, the YouTube algorithms, they're the ones that are gonna push your content so YouTube can promote you. Whenever you had sponsorship of companies, that's how YouTube also promotes you. Whenever you're part of a YouTube channel, that's what I wanted to be part of. And say like you're a moderator for a big channel, or you're actually a member, believe it or not, member of specific channels that has a good flow of money going in, then YouTube is gonna slowly start promoting your content. Now that's one side. The other side is how well do you make your hashtags, your tags, how well you actually edit your videos, how good are you even funny? Are you trying to actually make them more addicting and what's the word I'm looking for? And entertaining for the public? That's the number two, but I mean, YouTube, I know they do this, but they're not telling you this, that they really silence people. Like there's the demonetization and then there's the silencing. I took out a lot of videos that I had that had music before they started the YouTube guideline bullshit rules. Then the guidelines are constantly changing. Like you can't say specific words because that gets tracked and then you're like you get silenced, you get demonetized, or even you can get your channel taken down because they say you're promoting a certain thing, a certain that, certain this, which is considered bullshit because I've seen so many channels talk so much shit, yet they have a lot of subscription counts, and I don't want to mention names, but like I was actually kind of pissed with the Doom community in this summer, but because I thought they were actually deleting my comments. And I was looking at some videos. I'm like, what? Did this guy deleted my comment? I'm like, I thought about that. Then I went into some other channels and I started typing. Then I went back and I didn't see them. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, what did I do wrong to actually get my comments get deleted? Or maybe I got blocked. I thought about that. Then I was like, all right, let me see if I can actually um come back to some of the videos after I messaged him. Sure did. 24 to 48 hours. I got a reply. I'm like, how come I didn't get a notification? I always get notifications from whenever somebody replies. And how come I didn't get a notification from certain people, like mainly some Doom content creators, collectors? Because as you know, December 10 is coming, and December 10 is going to be the 30th anniversary. I know there's a lot of bullshit problems that are going around the world. Most gamers, they really want to don't want to know anything about politics or what's going on around the world. I get it. That's why I kind of stopped talking about that because I was making some videos about that. I think I was pissing some gamers, and they're like, yeah, no, 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 no. I don't want to know about your conspiracies. I don't want to know about this. Which I made my third channels. Well, I already had it, but I made it specifically for that. Like anything related about gaming is gonna be this channel. Anything about art, unboxing, toys, statues. As a matter of fact, I want to make a second video today regarding putting something about toys because as you know, last month I basically said, you know what, I'm done with buying, and I feel like the market crash, like the economic market crash, I feel like it might crash next year. There's a good probability. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic here, but how things are going, and I have a gut feeling like the energy I can actually gravitate. I don't have to use numerology, astrology, or any kind of signs. Like can pick up on something, and I have a feeling like I feel like economic crash might probably happen next year around fall, September, October. That's how I'm feeling it. As I think the Great Depression was around that time of the year as well in 1939, and like I feel like the not before the economic crash, I feel like the gaming market is gonna probably crash in 2024. The gaming market crashed in 1983. For those of you who didn't know, there's a video regarding about how the stock market for Atari plummeted. People lost a lot of money. There were investing people since Atari games started making games. Not sure if it was 1981, 82, somewhere around there, the early 80s. Because arcades were big back in the early 80s. People would go to theaters and go to those specific places, stores, or there would be a big place where you would play. You would pay money, then you would go play the arcades. That mostly happened in the late 70s and then kind of died down in the mid 90s to late 90s. It kind of died around that time frame. I mean, you did see it in the 90s, but you didn't see it that much anymore in the early 2000s. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here, which I don't want to go a little bit off topic here, is that everything is going up. YouTube is getting worse with the silencing people left and right. They're silencing big YouTubers who have millions of subscribers now. If they have the balls to silence people that basically they're making money, like if you're a big YouTuber or a big Twitch streamer, you can get away with a lot of crap, man. It's just like when you have a lot of money, you do some crimes. I'm not trying to actually because of the stupid YouTube guidelines. What I'm saying is that people with money, power, and influence, it's the same shit with the internet. You get away with a lot of crap, but lately the internet has been getting more harsher. Like they don't really care if you're actually famous. They take people down with 300,000 subscribers, with a million subscribers. There's people that have been getting silenced from Twitch left and right and getting their accounts getting banned that have a lot of flow of money in them. So there's still a stiff resistance with people that are like famous on these platforms, but you still do get silenced. And The silencing and demonetization and there's a word for it. I'm trying to look for it. Just getting worse and worse, man. Like the world is getting darker and darker. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. I'm trying to actually fix myself now at the age of, I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm early 30s. I feel like that, man, there's something profound that happens in the early 30s where you do make the type of changes, and you literally wake up and see what the heck. Why am I spending 5, 10, $15 on a game that I just spent a few minutes, hours, even a few days play it, and then I just don't come back to it? And I feel like that's the vast majority of gamers now. They're like, you know what? I spend like uh, thousands of dollars each year. People, I'm not saying me, people, and they're like, you know what? I'm done. Like I've seen cases where people are where they don't like something from Sony or they don't like something from. And this is the reason why YouTube silences me and hates me. I mention these things because they actually want to suppress these things. They want to keep you in an illusion that, oh, you Sony's at an all-time high right now, where people are buying games left and right. And Nintendo, that's not the case. That is not the case. People are buying less and less, and that's why the president for Sony is actually resigning on spring of 2024 because the sales have been plummeting down. They think that maybe because of the direction of the president is actually causing harm towards the company. Yes and no, like that's part of it, but I feel like it's a combination of many things. It can be also the economy, like as I've been mentioning, for spending less and less money on entertainment and using it more on actual needs like food, because food has doubled the past 3 years, which is crazy, man. Like We're being governed by people who don't know jack shit, man. And that's well, I'm gonna say this probably in my third channel because I don't want to say it on this channel. I kind of want to have to be careful if I want to focus more on games, so I don't want to go a little bit off topic there. But thing is, people there's I don't have a statistics. I haven't searched this, but there are more people now buying games on sale now more than ever. Like the only games that are being bought at full price, 50, 60, 70, I don't know what the prices are for a lot of these games. They're usually the main titles like the Mario games, the ones that have been out for many years. Um, the what's the other one? The Resident Evils, the Castlevanias, um, like games that have been out for the past since the 80s and 90s. Like all those hardcore fans are gonna be like, you know what? I want to play it on day one. Want to play it on the first few weeks, and those are the ones that people keep coming and buying. But new titles like that Bethesda game that's like new of the series, and then it's got a lot of backlash and bad, and a lot of people are talking trash on it, just like Fallout 76, if not worse. Like there's so many people saying that the game is bad, the game is this, and that's the thing. Like I'm not trying to promote because this is the reason I think I feel like the YouTube picked up on this with the freaking AI algorithms or whatever they have them. That I'm actually promoting the masses to change. Look, I'm not here to actually change you. If I did, then maybe I would have probably got more pummeled and more like screwed up more than I am already. But at the same time, I just don't give a rat's ass anymore. But I'm gonna keep it. I'll watch what I have to say. But just saying, like people are not buying games anymore because most games now they're coming out broken, beyond repair, and the games that were broken in the 80s and 90s, like for the better part, the 90s was like the golden decade for games, in my opinion, and a lot of the newer generation might actually argue with me on that. But us millennials, we are tooth to nail to say that the 90s was like the golden. That's when I feel like that was where most of my favorite games are at in the 90s. But anyways, the games now they're coming out broken. Most of them, 90%, 80% of them, I think. Like I like to give out numbers since they're all coming at early access, broken, and they don't even fix them. And by the time they fix them, it takes like what, 3, 4, 5 years? Like these companies need to start investing money on testers. I could be a very good tester for a company if they can actually hire me and actually see if they can actually get me. And I know several people that we can make a team and we can actually say, you know what, you do this, that, and that, and then like in a week we can make a lot of progress. But that was one of the problems the 90s was facing as well, is that there wasn't that many testers, and then the testers were just testing functional things like if A was working, if B was working, then there was like that breaking bug that prevented you from actually doing like beating the game on certain things, and that was a bummer because back in the 90s there wasn't no updates, there wasn't not anything, so you pretty much were screwed over, and unless they made another physical cartridge or CD of the game, that was the only downside back then. But now that they can fix it, they don't fix them a year. They literally sometimes take 3, 4, 5 years, and sometimes they don't even fix them. Those freaking companies have the balls, the audacity to not even change anything that's broken in games now. That's mainly the reason why people are not buying games anymore. That's the reason why I'm gonna keep getting silenced because I keep saying the truth. I keep saying that fuck you games, gaming developers. I know you're trying your best, but these rich assholes, the guys that are on top, They're making all the bad decisions, pressuring you people to finish a project in like 1 year or in 6 months. Like, I'll give you a good example. Fallout New Vegas. They pressured the developers to release the game really early because they saw how the game was looking just as good as 3, if not better. I'm one of the very, very few people, well, I'm not say very few, but probably 1/4 of the community that says Fallout 3 is better. Maybe I need to play New Vegas a little bit more. I spent at least 50 to 80 hours into that game. Well, probably not 80. Probably like around 40, 30, 40, 50 hours around there. New Vegas and Fallout 3, I spent 100 to like 200 hours into on average because on Xbox I did 100, the PlayStation I did like another 50 to 100. So I spent more time on Fallout 3. I feel like it was more casual, there was less bugs, but because I was playing the console version, now that I have the PC version, I need to really invest time onto the New Vegas, and then maybe I can change my mind and say, wow, New Vegas should have been a way better game, way better game. Have the people on top would not pressure them to actually uh release the game at a certain time, and that's why the company for who was making Fallout New Vegas, I think it was Obsidian something, I forgot. I'm sorry. They broke off. They started to make their own games, and that's how it's happening with a lot of companies in the past 10 years. There's a lot of designers, people who made like the guy who made Castlevania, the guy who made Mega Man, they all broke off from the bigger companies, the people who make StarCraft original one. Now they're breaking off and they're making a new game right now. Well, at least the people that made StarCraft 2. A lot of people that made StarCraft 1, I don't think they're with us anymore. Some of them. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that we are getting into a stage where people are just getting fed up with the bullshit. And I'm one of them, man. Like, I told myself until they start to get themselves, fix themselves up, I don't plan on getting myself a game as a protest. And the only game that I really want this year is just Mario RPG, but I don't feel like buying it. It'd be nice if I can get it as a Christmas gift, but aside from that, and Red Dead Redemption, I forgot to mention that one because I want to beat Undead Nightmare. I played it but never beaten it. But like people now just don't want to play the new stuff. They want to focus on the remakes, and we're like in the era of the remakes now because the era of the 2000s was like the era of the graphics of like Call of Duty. That's why Modern Warfare was so big because we're like, wow, the graphics so great. Look at this. It looks so great. Like Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and graphics were great. I get it. That was the era of the 2000s. The 2010s, I don't know what happened 2010s. I feel like that was where there was a lot of the games companies like Konami and Capcom. It was seen as the worst times. There was like the era of the indie games, era of new gaming developers actually starting their. I feel like the 2010s was more like the new era of coming in. They were being more successful than older companies like 2010, 11, 12, 13. We saw that really big time where there was a lot of companies making games that have been out since the 80s and 90s and then it died off. It literally died off because people don't like to like they don't like the direction of what's going on and the game dies off. So they brought something new and then they just focused on like the aspect of something new. But now we're in the era of the remakes this past 4 or 5 years where people are just, you know what? I want to play the same game that I played years ago as a remake, which is technically a different game. It's different things, different graphics, different mechanics. So I'm gonna have to cut this video. I do want to make a video on my second and third channel, but yeah, I can't believe YouTube is actually doing this to me. Like I have to watch channels really carefully again because I'm one of those people that I go back when I post a comment and I check. And that's how I found out that YouTube was actually deleting some of my comments. And I was hearing this stuff before from people that YouTube was actually deleting comments. I never paid attention. Like I heard of it since 2015 or 16, but now I do see it, and then it's kind of dirty, man. I don't know what kind of AI is doing this bullshit delete. But and another one that I have not paid attention to this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's happening to me where people are actually unsubscribing to you. Then you go back to, and you're like, I don't remember I'm subscribing to this person. Let me subscribe again. Why did YouTube unsubscribe me? Like that's another one. Aside from no deleted comments, no notifications, that's how you know you're being silenced and you're being attacked on your platform. And it's a damn shame, man. It's a really damn shame. But I'm gonna probably make another video like this on this channel, calling out all Doom fans before the 30th anniversary. And I probably have to make notes on that because I do wanna point out several things. Because I actually wanna help out the Doom community. Aside from that, I'm gonna have to cut this video off. All right, guys, take care, everybody. Have a good one. Peace out. Take care.